Hey everyone, my name is Jen O'Sullivan and I am the author of several books and also the designer of some educational tools. So I wanted to share with you my very first book because I think that some people don't know, some of you guys are new and some of you guys have never heard it before. So The Essential Oil Truth, this was the original copy that came out 2 years ago. And the reason that I wrote this, and this is what it looks like now, so they're the same book, but I'm going to explain to you guys the difference. The reason that I wrote this was because I had so many friends using different brands, and I felt that they were just willy-nilly using stuff and didn't really understand oils. And the actual reason I started sharing essential oils with people, meaning actually opening up my big mouth after using them for over 10 years, is because of the fact that so many of my friends were using them incorrectly. It was like the blind leading the blind. I saw so many people sharing what I call assumptive advice. And assumptive advice can be very dangerous because you're assuming something based on what you sort of know. And so it's why people say like, oh, you can't put oils in your water and drink it because oils and water don't mix and blah, 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 blah. You know, and they get all crazy offended and thinking like you're going to burn your esophagus, and it is just not true, okay? Depends on what oil you use, but generally speaking, you put a drop of lemon in your water, you're not going to burn your esophagus. So the reason this book, though, was written was so that I could say, and my team, same thing, like all of us, we were kind of like in it together trying to figure out how do we share with somebody without feeling like we're selling them something. Because at the end of the day, I didn't want to be a salesperson. I wanted to be an educator. I wanted to help people better understand what they were using regardless of what brand they used. Now, of course, if they wanted to come and join my customer group, then great. They would have a person that really cared for them and could help them on their essential oil journey. But if not, this also just allowed them to have a better understanding. So this was written from a perspective of zero company. There is no mention of any company in here. So you can rest assured that literally you could hand these books to anybody and say, are you just wanting to learn more information? Here. It doesn't mention Young Living. It doesn't mention any like brand. It talks nothing about brand. So what's cool about this, and if you have been here in this group for very long, you will know, if you've heard me teach at all, you will know that I am pretty much shoot from the hip, give you the facts as fast as possible. We don't mess around. I mean, I look at other authors and their books are like double spaced with large type and the margins are really small, like big, so that everything fits. This is like packed with words. Okay, so I like to give as much content as I possibly can in a very easy to understand fashion. So when you're looking through this book and you're trying to think, okay, is this for me? What I have heard from so many people is they say, I am not a reader, I hate reading, but this was very easy to read because I could hear you teaching. I could hear your voice almost in how you're saying things. And it's short. There's 48 mini chapters in here designed to actually help you get through everything, okay? So literally 48 mini chapters. So I'm going to tell you what a few of them are so you can kind of get an idea for what this is. Basically, we start lesson 1 is super short. It's what exactly are essential oils. Then we go into the history of essential oils. These are short chapters. They're digestible. You could take this into your bathroom and have it there each time, and each time you go to the bathroom, you could read a chapter. We talk about chemists and doctors and aromatherapists, what they have to say, so I use some quotes from different people. So it's building up the foundation of why these even are relevant, right? Because I think some people think it's like snake oil. So that's what this helps. And then how and why essential oils work. Lesson 5 is, can people overdose on essential oils? Lesson 6, can people be allergic to essential oils? Lesson 7, interactions with prescription drugs. Lesson 8, understanding electromagnetic frequencies. Lesson 9, interesting facts about our bodies, which I think really helps people get an idea. People always wonder, like, what's that chapter doing in there? It really helps you understand the beauty and intricacy of our bodies in conjunction with the beauty and the intricacies of essential oils. I talk about understanding the oxygen radical absorption capacity, that ORAC that you guys have seen, ingesting essential oils, headaches to smells, like how do you address that? Our intense response to essential oils, right? This comes up in this all the time. People talk about this all the time. Like, is there really anything to the, if I'm really against a smell or if I really love a smell, this kind of intense response, what does that mean? And then like purity on essential oils. Now, again, remember, I'm not talking to any particular company. I'm just talking in general. This is a general book on oils. Trusting a label. So I go into the very curious marketing tactics of companies. How the distillation process works, the right method of extraction. I talk about essential oils and detox, questions to ask your essential oil company. We talk about the underbelly of marketing. Should I use a stronger or a weaker oil? I talk about safety precautions, pregnancies, babies and children, essential oils and pets. Has anyone ever died from essential oils? Then we go into like the science. We get into like starting at lesson 26. It's like understanding phenols and terpenes and all that stuff. Then going into traditional medications and essential oils and the body systems. We go into all the different systems: circulatory, digestive, endocrine, blah, 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 all those, okay? Then we get into essential oils for home use. But then kind of the interesting stuff starts to happen. And I know that seems a little bit weird, but just lessons number 43 through 48 is kind of where the impossibility of all this happens. It's where I talk about oils and land, seed selection, cultivation, extraction, testing, product and packaging. Now, remember, this was written 2 years ago, and so there's actually more information that I would love to kind of put into this book. But what happens is each time, and that's what happened here. So see how this one's smaller and this one's bigger? It's not that I made the words bigger. I actually put more information in this. So some people like this because it's small and easy to handle, but I will tell you that this is more complete. This goes more into depth on some of the topics, just where it needed clarity. And so if that's something that you question or are looking for a tool to hand somebody, literally something to like hand somebody, this book has floored me with the popularity of it. It just shocks me. The negative comments or the negative reviews is always from somebody who's like, she clearly is from an essential oil company, right? You gotta remember, you guys, I am not a yes man. You know that about me. I am not somebody that is like I'm gonna get the company jargon out there, you know? My whole entire being is to search truth. I want to know what is true truth. And so sometimes things change, and remember that. Sometimes things that we learn as we move forward, you realize you get more clarity on, or you realize something else was there that you didn't know before. I am not God, nor are you, so things change all the time. So, there's even a bunch of stuff I would change in here, because this was written before the whole compliance thing, and so for me, there's things in here I'd actually like to change, because this was a book that was out before all that. But the thing is, like, you look at like Gentle Babies, right? Certain books like Deborah Rayburn, which is such a beautiful book, and it's such a good book to have in your library, but non-compliant, right? So I don't know, is she going to go back and rewrite it? Because that was written years ago. That was written in 2008. So it's good to know and to kind of edit books, and that's why there's this second edition. A third edition will probably happen eventually, but it's actually got some good stuff in here. This is, like I said, this is a book that has blessed me in ways I didn't think were possible. It's been such a huge selling book where people buy this in bulk for their teams, meaning not only for their teams, they'll do book clubs on this, but they've actually also been doing, passing these out to people, right? So the first introduction, somebody says, you don't want to hand them something that's like, here, let me sell you oils, because these are my little sheets, right, that have everything on it. But this kind of is overwhelming. If it's somebody that is just dipping their toe into the shallow end, this is a really good place to start, okay? So you can actually get them in bulk at like pretty much up to 50% off, which is pretty crazy, through my publisher, but that's through 31 Oils, and then they get shipped directly from my publisher. So if you wanted to buy 100 copies, it's 50% off, and I'm the only author that offers that. The reason for that is because I really want to get books into people's hands. I'm not making hardly any profit on that. Okay, so do know that my heart is in education. It is not in like, how much money can I be making? That was not the intention of this at all. And so I do get money off of single copies from from Amazon because they're like $13.99. I think they're probably on sale right now. They go based on how popular they are, and they bring the price down. I have no say in that. But my publisher, I can actually buy them and give them to you at my cost. So that's where if you get 100, I just ship them off to you. I just like type in your address and it goes through. So if you go over to 31oils.com/truth, that book you can buy in bulk there. And then if not, if you just want a single copy, you can actually go to Amazon. And if you want a single copy of all of my books, I've bundled them in the dirt cheapest I could do, which is a bundle pack of all 5 of my books plus all of the new marketing, and they're basically educational tools. So if you are just a customer that wants to have all of them, it's $25. It's the least expensive 5-book pack with like, I think it's 5 different educational tools along with that. So it's a pretty fun pack for pretty inexpensive, and you can also buy those for your new customers. So if you want to just give people an automatic library, we're allowed to spend $25 of our commission off of our kit sales, and so that makes it a really easy way to kind of help somebody along. Okay, so just a spotlight on this book. This is the basics. This is where I began with my educational story with you guys, and I think that since we've grown to such a large group, it would be fun to share with you guys my beginnings. All right, love you guys. Thank you so much for all of your support, and I totally appreciate you guys. So a lot of fun. Thanks, guys. Bye.